It is Power of the Primes Inferno. And he is joined by Power of the Primes Jazz. And the amazing Power of the Primes Wreck-Gar. And the Power of the Primes Ricochet, sometimes known as Stepper. And all the way from Combiner Wars is Combiner Wars Rook. Together, they will form Infernatron. Yes, I had to bring in a Combiner Wars buddy because I don't have any unallocated Power of the Primes bots that can actually merge. There's a Punch, but he doesn't have the merge pieces. And I don't have any of the Collectors Club stuff. So I had to bring in Rook. But we are going to go over Power of the Primes Inferno, Jazz, Ricochet, Wreck-Gar, who is a Walmart exclusive, and Rook from Combiner Wars, and then we are going to merge them together. Now, I would like to thank Toy Hacks for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much. Visit Toy Hacks. They have awesome reproduction stickers for your G1s and ways to glow up your more recent releases, plus the armory and the backdrops. Very cool stuff. Toyhacks.com. Check them out. Now, we're going to have fun with a 4/5 Power of the Primes Combiner team that merge into who I call Infernatron. He didn't really have a merge name, so I gave him one. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks for coming back. That is totally awesome. And I do want to remind everyone out there are memberships. Check them out. We have a members-only live stream once a month. Might be worth seeing. But to these, Infernatron is waiting. Be right back. So we're going to start with the kind of default leader of the group because he makes up the main body, Inferno. Now, Inferno is a repaint, retool of both Hot Spot and Onslaught from Combiner Wars. Now, a couple things they give him, and I bought this one secondhand. Somewhere I have an in-the-box one, but I saw this one pretty inexpensive, picked it up because I didn't feel like opening up my in-box one. And he comes with these feet. Now, I am hoping that these are the feet that normally come with him. They may not be because it shows some stuff in the instructions that doesn't seem to work, like attaching these to his back, but I could just be an idiot because, you know, sometimes I am. But he comes with these feet, he comes with 2 guns, and he comes with attitude. If you're familiar with the tech spec of the original Inferno, where there's smoke, there's me. That's his, you know, whole thing. So either he goes where the fires are, or he really, really smokes a lot of weed. One of the two. But he does have these 2 weapons, and interestingly, you can attach one to the other. Only goes on one way because there's no post on the back of this one. To have a really big gun, which could of course be used for his combined form, or he could use this as a sniper rifle. Your choice. But we're going to put these aside, and I will say he doesn't have the classic Inferno look, obviously. Inferno had the cab of the fire truck on his chest, very similar to, you know, almost an Optimus Prime type look. Though, of course, an Optimus Prime in Robots in Disguise 2001 was also a fire truck, so, you know, they swap things. Shut up, Logan. So, there's not a lot of change with him. The remolded head, some deco is changed a little bit, possibly some stickers, I'm not sure. And I think the head looks different than either Bruticus or Defensor. But we'll see that when we put them all together. But let's go over some posability. But before we do that, let's put him on the turntable of doom so you can see him from all angles. Ooh, very nice. And we will tell you his height. From head to toe, he's about 7 inches. In actuality, I don't have a official Hasbro Hot Spot. I got the counterfeit set, the knockoffs, some call them, of the Combiner Wars, because I came to collecting a little after Combiner Wars was gone and it was hard to get them at a reasonable price. I do happen to have a official Hasbro Onslaught because I got one. It happens. But this is 100% official Hasbro product, and let us find out the most important thing: can he do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme? Now, you do have to kind of maneuver the ladder for him to like get down into that pose, but he can do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme. That is different than a split. A split is going out to the side, toes forward, but he can do that too. Hurts just looking at it. And of course, he can kick forward. He can kick back, but you kind of have to move his leg off to the side so he avoids the ladder. Now, this Power of the Primes guy does not have ankle swivels. He's basically a glorified Combiner Wars, but despite that, you can still put him in some wide stances because his feet are pretty wide. Plus, he's got this wonderful ladder to hold him up. He does have a knee, so he can bend at the knee. In fact, he can bend more than 90 degrees, so right in there. And he swivels all the way around very nicely. Does he twist at the waist? That, I'm afraid, is beyond his capabilities. Some of the Combiner Wars figures definitely are not designed to do that, just because it would really mess with the stability of the figure. Plus, they didn't think of that. Arms go all the way around. He can bend at the elbow, like pretty much all the way over. Go off to the side. He's got the upper elbow and he's got a lower elbow, so he's got double joints. Swivels around. The fists themselves don't twist. There's no finger articulation or anything like that. And the head turns all the way around, which is nice. Overall, a pretty posable figure. And again, he's got some nice weapons. And the feet. Well, feet that you can actually do some other stuff with the feet. We'll show you when we merge together. All right, but he becomes a weird looking fire truck. So let's get him into vehicle mode. So there's Inferno in his fire truck mode. As you can see, he's got a ladder that can kind of go up somewhat, like so. It's got this weird bucket on the end that also has like a head in it. It's got a little hose thing that will shoot out. It looks like some cabling or wire or something like that, cabling here. Now, I have attached his guns and his feet to each side, and it's kind of like that. At least that's what I prefer. You can, of course, just attach the guns or just attach the feet. And attaching the guns makes it look a little more svelte, though you would hope that people would think that these are some kind of water cannons rather than, weapons of war when he's on his way to, fight a fire. The whole robots in disguise thing. So let's put him on the turntable of doom, spin him around, and lengthwise he is almost 9.5 inches, about 9, slightly over 9 3/8. And let's see how he rolls. Sorry guys, I want to stand back. Don't know how crazy Inferno can get. Not horrible, not horrible. I've seen better, but he rolls. And he does have the FD fire department, not, anything profane. And he does have very small Autobot symbols on the sides of his ladder. So there you go. Now you will see him in his merged mode when we merge them all together. So we will put him aside for the moment. And we'll go on to our next volunteer, who is Jazz. Now this version of Jazz, I have heard a lot of people are not very thrilled with it. And I understand why. It's kind of floppy, kind of, not as solid as some of the other Jazzes. Certainly if you just wanted to get Jazz, I would recommend something like the Studio Series 86 is nice. The one out of the Dramatic Capture Autobot HQ set is nice. Even the one, was there one from like Legacy or something? Any of the later Jazzes are a little bit better than this one. This is not horrible looking, but he's just kind of me. He looks all right. He's just not the best Transformer I've ever seen. He does come with his gun, and he comes with the Fist of Doom / heel piece, so he can just do stuff and things with that. You can flip in the fingers, you can have it be like a rocket thing, I don't know. If you really want, you could put it on his back, if that will go in. And because it has rocket pieces, it could be, I would say a backpack, but it's a little low, so it's a butt pack. But I believe I can fly, I believe I can touch this. Okay. Or for storage, you can turn it up like that, and it's just on his back, a really 3D tramp stamp. Well, let's take a look at some posability. Though I do want to mention the deco is not, again, bad. I mean, a lot of people complain about this guy because he's just kind of not as solid, but I don't think he's all that bad. I've seen Weiss, and he's got the nice Autobot symbol on his chest. He's got the molded head that looks like Jazz, and he's number 4. I actually would have to look up Jazz's number. Just let me know in the comments because I'm friggin' lazy. But all right, let's take a look at some posability. Now, first of all, he does not have any type of ankle swivel, and he also does not have the ability to exactly do a full Jean-Claude. I mean, it looks like he does. But unfortunately, because of how his legs are, hey, Sky, yeah, they actually can't go straight out. So he just has double jointed knees, so he can simulate it, but he's not quite there. Isn't that right, Sky? You like Jazz, don't you? You don't care if it's Studio Series or what, you just like Jazz. You should see her on the sax. But he can kick forward, he can kick back-ish, and I get headbutted by a cat. He can do a side kick, not as high as you might hope. Using both legs, he can go pretty high. Can bend at the knee, and he's got this nice spike here to cause some extra damage. He does swivel all the way around. Twisting at the waist, you would hope. Let's see. He can actually twist at the waist if you lift up his back a little bit. Otherwise, that gets in the way. So that's pretty good. Thank you, Sky. Arm goes all the way around, bends at the elbow, does a swivel. Arm can go off to the side, and he can kind of hit himself in the head. Right. Head also can turn all the way around. So not a bad posable transformer. Just, especially with his mold mate Ricochet, can get a little bit wobbly the more you use him. But let's put him in his vehicle mode. And there he is in his vehicle mode, and you can actually put his gun on top, which doesn't make him as in disguise. And by the way, he's 5.5 inches tall, because I forgot to tell you before. But there he is. He's not a bad looking car. Definitely has the Autobot symbol in the front. Nice number 4 in the front. He's sponsored by, okay, it says a little small to read. It says Autobot Jazz, and he is sponsored by Energon. And he has an Autobot symbol on his side, a white one in a black field on each side. So, sponsored by Energon. Yes, the one drink. All right, roll test. Not bad. I think rolling was still good up until seed, and then some of them fell by the wayside. But very nice. Now, we also have Ricochet, who is the same mold, so I'm not going to go through posability. He just has a white fist thing, a black gun, and feels a little loose. I think I got him before I got the Jazz. So just to talk about the deco, he's got the gold toes, which is nice. He's a Generation Select, and they actually put some color inside its wheels. So he's got some golden there, or yellow, or mustard. He's got the little flame deco there. So he is Ricochet, which is the US name, but the name in Japan was Stepper. But there is some thought that perhaps that should not have been his name. Perhaps they mix up the name between him and the other Target Master, known as Artfire. Artfire, the original one, was actually a repaint of Inferno with a Target Master partner, whereas Stepper was a repaint of Jazz with a Target Master partner. And the original ones could not hold them in their hands, had to actually have them in a, well, Artfire I think could, but Stepper had an attachment with a hole that you could plug in the Target Master partner. The reissue that they did later on could actually hold it in the hand. They provided a smaller post on the end of the big post for that. And those Target Masters were actually Target Masters I think were supposed to be for Scourge and Cyclonus, the ones that were used in the US, but in Japan, Cyclonus, Scourge, Hot Rod, Cup, and Blur did not become Target Masters, but they use those Target Masters elsewhere. But the thought is that this guy should have been Artfire, and the one with the ladder, you know, the fire engine, should have been called Stepper, because steps. I don't know if that is 100% true. I read it somewhere, and it may very well be true. So, Artfire, aka Stepper, aka Ricochet. One thing that I did not mention with these guys is the fists. If there wasn't something interfering, they could twist, but they can move slightly on the wrist. So deco, very different. He's got the flames on the side, flames on the front with the Autobot symbol in there. No numbering, but otherwise he's exactly the same. He's got the deco here and a little white spots there for reasons. And rolling actually seems to roll about maybe slightly better. Yeah, check out the race. Nope, no, I gotta do it exactly the same. Same speed, same everything. Okay, it worked once. If you look, he just pulled out ahead, so it's slightly smoother for some reason, at least with mine. Could be just manufacturing variations. Now, next member of Team Infernatron, or the Blaze Squad, or whatever we want to call them, is Wreck-Gar, and his weapon is actually from the Generations version, so not something that normally would come with, say, Groove, I don't think. But there he is, spinning him on the turntable of doom. Wreck-Gar from head to toe is a little over 5. It's more like a little over 5.5 if you go from the windshield on his back. Obviously, Wreck-Gar changes into a motorcycle. Oddly, he is a repaint of Groove, who this guy replaced, so everything's related in some way. Don't fall over. Ari, say almost end. No, welcome wagging for no stranger with that new coffee flavor for you. Offer expires while you wait. upright as a standing by. The key word there, Wreck-Gar, is standing. I don't know why he is being a little difficult with his standing. There we go. He's all right. Give him a spin. His knees are a little pointed in. But anyway, power of the primes. There's going to be no ankle swivels, but he is able to do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme and then some, because he's kind of got these like double jointed knees. So he can really go out there and roll from side to side. He can kick forward, not too high, but not bad. Kick back is about the same. Just got to watch out for the wheel. Side kick, full split, side kick. He can bend at the knee. So here's the thing though. He can bend at the knee, but let's see here. But part of the problem is that you kind of have to take his leg apart to do it. Let me see something here. Maybe I have it slightly misaligned. Is it slightly misaligned? I don't know that I've used him since I did the evolution of the Junkions. But there you go. It was slightly misaligned. And he's got knees. And, of course, swiveling all the way around. Twisting. There's no twisting. Right there. He twists all the way around. Woohoo! Nice. Arms go all the way around, bends at the elbow, nice swiveling. Arms can go off to the side. He can also shrug a little bit, but his arm also goes off to the side when you do that. So head turns all the way around. He has horns on his head that look kind of like fake handlebars, kind of harkening back to, his G1 days. And that's pretty much it. Spin on the turntable of doom. You can see the Autobot symbol on his back. There does not appear to be any on the front. And he is a Junkion Autobot, because as we learned later, some Junkions are Autobots and some are Decepticons. So what can you do? But again, he is a repaint of Groove. He's got his own fist heel thingy, and let's transform it. So there is Wreck-Gar in his motorcycle mode. And I kind of tried to put the axe thing on the side, kind of clipped it to the hand, but it kind of sticks out kind of far. So I don't know that it's the best way to attach it. But again, looks like Groove, just in different colors, Junkion colors. Nice Autobot symbol on the front, and he's got wheels. The back wheels are generally separate. Let's see if we can make sure that they pop together. I think that's a little better. We can try a roll test, but he's gonna flop over eventually. So yeah, doing my best, but very difficult to do a roll test with a motorcycle because I'm not on it to balance it. Still, it's Wreck-Gar, and he is part of Team Flare Up. Sounds like you need some preparation for that. Preparation. H. And finally, our last member. It is Rook. Now, what's interesting about Rook is he is one of the Combiner War guys who actually got turned into like everybody else. He was the first. Give a little spin on the turntable of doom. And he is about 5.5 inches tall. But he was turned into, with some remolding, into Impactor, which was a club exclusive. He was turned into, with again remolding, and heavily turned into like Hound and I think Swindle. And so he got turned into a lot of things. What's interesting about him is instead of having fists that he can hold things, he's got these ports on the end. So he can put his clamp opener, gynecological tool there. And he can also use like this, like a Hulk hand, and punch people. But he is a cool mold, kind of a cool character. Came with a comic book, and I got this at BotCon. So yeah, that's why Infernatron took so long to put together, because I needed this guy. But all right, now he actually has ankle swivels, which is interesting because he is Combiner Wars, but he's got ankle swivels, which his compatriots over here who are from Power of the Primes do not have. Weird. No problem for a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme. Kicks forward, kicks back, though he runs into his backpack. Side kick, full split side kick. Bends at the knee, 90 degrees. Does he have a swivel? Yes, he does. And does he twist at the waist? Yes, he does. Which, a lot of the Combiner Wars do because, joints and stuff. And arm goes all the way around, bends at the elbow, and he does have a swivel, though it seems like, interestingly, a little stiff. Shut up, Logan. But it went all the way around. His arm can go out to the side. Head can go all the way around. There is no figure articulation. There's no real figures. But, he's got these ports here. He could just, be firing stuff right out of his hand, like he's a GoBot or something. But there you have him. I do like the look of him. I like the colors, the blue and the white, and, with some black mixed in there. Nice police symbols. It says police on his arms. Well, he's got an Autobot symbol on his head and on his back. So if you're gonna punch him and you really hate Autobots, right for the head. There you go. All right, time for his vehicle mode. And there he is as a SWAT vehicle. And oddly, the one vehicle that it would not be out of place for him to have like a big honking cannon on the top. He's got this thing. What can you do? But it does say SWAT on the side. Police. Got the Autobot symbol on the top there. Some yellow headlights. I like him. He's a cool mold, which is probably why they used him for like everything later on. And he tries pretty well. I almost feel like he's slightly misaligned, but I don't think he is. Well, pretty well. I like him. And in vehicle mode, he is about 4 1/4 inches. All right, this is the time you've been waiting for. Time for the Blazobots to merge into Infernatron. Hey man, why don't we call it Jazzatron? Or Ricochetbot? Or Junkload? Howdy, Defensor's taken shit. So there he is, Infernatron. Now, I was gonna put Rook as one of the legs, but I think as a Combiner Wars, he's slightly a different measurement than the other leg, which is Wreck-Gar, and therefore he would have been named Infernatron, though that seems to be happening regardless. I mean, the thing about these Power of the Primes is I love the new feet, but it does have a tendency that the feet can spin pretty easily. Now, I've left the weapons on both Ricochet and Jazz. The others don't have their weapons. This is a pain in the ass to put on. Anyway, but he's a pretty decent looking combiner. Now, I did not really turn this because it was giving me some problems staying together, but I can turn it a bit. And of course, if I want to, I can certainly turn Rook so he can bend at the elbow. I'm not going to try to do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. Obviously, his feet spin. He can bend at the knee and can actually move his legs up, but these are combiners, so they're not exactly as easy to pose without potentially falling apart. Obviously, the head goes all the way around. And sometimes you can turn it. If you move the arm, it's using the joint inside the side robot, and sometimes it's using part of the main robot. So I do have to say the Legacy Menasor, much more able to hold together. I don't think we will see an Infernatron in Age of the Primes or anything like that, just because, you know, I think he should have a gun in each hand, but I don't think we'll see another Infernatron or Inferno as a combiner main anytime real soon. I mean, maybe in another 20, 30 years when they're like, we need to figure out some new gimmicks. Oh, why don't we just reinvent Combiner Wars? Yeah, he's not as stable as I might hope. I know that someone wanted to see this and said he was very stable, and maybe he is with different limbs, but yeah, looking forward to the new studio series, Devastator, who should hold together. I mean, the Combiner Wars one held together pretty dang well. But yeah, maybe it's the limbs, maybe it's Maybelline. Still, if you can get him to pose properly, put him on a shelf with a whole bunch of other combiners, can look pretty badass. So that's what I might try to do. Get him to stand, maybe get him to lean up against something, and Infernatron falls. Infernatron falls no more. What do you think of the painting? Sorry, little flashback to more than 10 years ago. I do like the fact that there are kind of ankle swivels in this guy's feet. I got him to stay. Will he stay if I spin him? Yeah. I got him balanced. I will never touch him. He's gonna stay there for every review from now on. Anyways, that is Infernatron, which is my made-up name, not Hasbro's. But pretty cool. I will put links to all 5 of the components in the description. Did not grab the little Wreck-Gar to see if I could plug it into his chest like the one on Defensor, like the little groove. Just, nah, too much. It's bad enough that I have a groove on my Defensor and I'm supposed to put another groove on the chest. What is it, mini-me? But he's pretty fun. I might keep him in this mode, or I might separate them out, because I actually like all the different bots, especially Rook. Even though he's further back, Rook's definitely a cool character. But he's fun, and I hope you're having fun watching these videos. And if you are, by all means, feel free to subscribe. That would be awesome. Again, to remind you, we do have memberships. You should check those out. And another thank you to Toy Hacks for sponsoring this video. Very nice. Check them out at toyhacks.com. Stickers for your G1, stickers to glow up your latest toys, and toys in between. Plus an armory, backdrops, all kinds of cool stuff. Toyhacks.com. Thanks so much. And while you are mulling over this particular combiner of disparate pieces, you can actually check out this one over here, which is actually Optimus Maximus with a white Optimus Prime, should have been Ultra Magnus, as the center. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.